Okay, well that almost worked, I think. We'll have to see what's going on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my studio. I'm Joseph Finchum. You're you. Hopefully this is about to start working, and you'll be seeing me in a second. I had to refresh the page, which means I had to change the link to the chat box and everything. That's why the screen went blank for a second there. YouTube, you never get anything right, do you? I did get something pop up, but couldn't read it in time, so I just popped over here. Audio and video is live. Thank you, Clark Fine Art. Oh, sorry, Violet. But you can't hear that because you have no sound now. Okay, so we're doing armor today. It's armor day. And we're going to mostly be concentrating on the first main Orca that I painted, the one that's most centered in the picture, in the painting. Painting, that's the word I was looking for. So, that's what we're doing today, and hopefully it'll go good, so let's get into it. Hi Sheila, hi Sim Mac, hi Starving Artist, everybody. Don't worry, Starving, my internet, well, my connection didn't make the link to the live, so it's not just you, it's everyone and me. YouTube screwed up again, just like they always do. So, okay. So this is the one I'm going to mainly concentrate on. This one, I have an idea of something I want to do with it. It will get its armor too, hopefully. Maybe in this stream, who knows. But this fin here, if you've ever seen like video of a whale and they come up and they come right to the surface, but then they like turn and start to go back down, and they take that one fin and bring it up and break the surface of the water and leave like a little wake behind it. That's the look I'm going to try and get with this. And what I want to do is I have a little template here that I'm going to try and use at some point, which will go on here. And if it works, it's going to be like a little wake made out of like very fine, tiny stars. So it's like it's breaking the surface of this, it's breaching the surface of space. So hopefully, you know, that'll work and come across. I don't know. It's really even hard to tell that this is a fin pointing basically straight at you. So. Did what highlight all yellow? I seem to be running out of white paint, so. Time for a new big tube of white. Hey George, thank you for coming. If you're asking if, like, what you wrote highlighted, yes it did. But I don't know why you're asking that. Yes, attempted is a good word there. Yes. It did not quite work. And so, if you've ever watched Bob Ross, you'll know exactly what's going to go on here. That thing he always does where he starts making a really beautiful painting and he gets really far into it and you're like, that's gorgeous. And then he's like, let's block it all with a tree. Well, a lot of this orca is going to disappear because I have to paint over it in order to paint this armor. So I'm going to try and get some paint on here. Let's see how we do. Okay, so I'm already getting sticky because it's warm. And this room heats up extremely quickly with all the computers, with the computer and the lights and all that stuff. Okay, so follow that nose line. And then it's going to come back this way with the lip. I can try and add more contrast into that at some other point. Over the eye. Come under the eye. And this will probably need a few coats to get it the right color. This comes all the way back here. You ever feel like you're just wrecking something for no reason? That's how it is today. No, that's going to go farther this way. Where's my spritzy ball? I need just a little bit more moisture on this. Okay, Clark, now I understand. And yes, it does. Um, that was the first one I've ever seen where you wrote question but didn't also tag me, so I couldn't tell before. That time it did. And that is good to know. Only I will see it that way. Okay. Yep, yep. Yeah. Only the person streaming sees it that way. That is correct, Clark. Fine art. Yes. Okay. Oh, that might be a little too thin. Up a little, down. Hook back up a bit. This should be about in line. Yes. Okay. Has anyone ever thought about painting armor on something you wouldn't normally paint armor on? I'm just wondering because, there have been other things in history that have been armored, like, horses and elephants and all kinds of things. Have you ever even thought of painting armor? That might be a better question. This one goes almost all the way to the back. This line. The paint feels like it's getting thick on the brush because of the warmth in here. I don't mean to complain about the heat, but it's another completely oppressive day here in New York. And if you guys can actually see, wow, let me get a little closer. If you can see, I'm trying to leave a little gap because that'll help me know where my shadowing needs to begin and end and stuff like that. So, I hope that's working. Hi, Kimmy B. You've drawn armor, but not on an animal, though. Well, that makes sense. It is not the place you would assume you would find armor. Okay, so now this goes up and then circles around, comes down. And it's not easy to figure out how to put armor on an animal. I assume with orcas that, they do a lot of head-on strikes. So everything's in the front and top, they want to like that, Thank you, SimMac. I am doing my very best. It's the first time I've ever painted orcas, so. And I have heard or read that the spots, the white spots on orcas are distinct to each orca, and that's how people actually tell them apart and stuff. So that's why I'm trying to I tried to make the armor conform so that it goes around the spots and doesn't actually go over them. And if Violet is still out there, I know she said she was turning off the sound, but he, I don't know. Violet, are you a boy or a girl? I don't know. Man or a woman? I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know. Um, but yeah. I forget where I was going. I distracted myself. What did Violet ask in the beginning? um, oh, the title. Yes. The title for today's video, the screw it, I'm doing it anyway, is basically because I said at the end of the last stream that I was going to move on to something else, and then I painted the orcas and didn't have time to actually start the armor, so I was like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna continue with what I was doing, and we'll finish it up. And we may not even finish this up. It all depends on how long and how many coats it takes me to get through the armor. And with my paint drying at breakneck speeds, I'm sure it's not going to be all that easy. Trying to get the paint just a little thicker in these bigger spots because it's a little easier to control in the bigger spots. The only good thing about it drying so fast is that I don't have to use the hair dryer, even though generally the hair dryer does not cause any problems. It still takes some time away from everything. And I'd rather be painting than blow drying. Still going to need a little bit more on the top part, but we can start breaking in the bottom. Blocking in? Breaking in. What? Apparently I'm a criminal now. Ooh, sorry, starving artist. I hope you get to see this later, and thank you for watching it again later because your internet went to lunch. It happens, it's the middle of the day. You've never seen it in the wild? Me neither. I don't know why, though. We're getting there. And while I sit here, while I sit here and over concentrate, I wanted to show you. I finished my second T-shirt design, but on the site, it's kind of hard to see. So I figured I'd give a glimpse here so you guys could see what it looks like. So let me do that now. I think it's funny, but maybe you guys will, maybe you guys won't. That should be longer than that. I will have to fix that later. Oh, that piece should be longer too. That's why. This piece should come up like this. Come down. Go to about there. It's, yeah, kinda. Kinda, George. It's kind of like an inside joke with me and a couple of my friends. But it actually has nothing to do with orcas themselves. It's this whole painting, well, the idea of the whole painting that I'm doing on the closet is kind of a bunch of inside jokes between me and some of my friends, and I can't exactly always explain what those inside jokes are because, I don't have their permission to tell stories that they're involved in, if that makes sense. But part of it is kind of the idea of, I mean, I can be vague, I guess. Um, ah, you like it, Sheila? Good. That seems like me. At least in the first 6 months, I definitely did that a lot more. So a lot more than I do now. Anyway, I've gotten a little better at keeping some of the talking going. And it's almost the reverse of, the joke that people were making in the beginning with the whole paint louder thing that, you know, I wouldn't say anything for a while and I would scare you guys when I started talking again. So, this is the other side of it, me getting scared by you guys. And it's definitely not the best self-portraits I've ever drawn either. So, barely worked at all. But I definitely do still sometimes get caught in the overthinking. I forgot how to do a live stream thing. It happens. The actual that the actual concept came from, I have one of those I have a t-shirt that's all, a bunch of different pictures. No, sorry. A bunch of the same pictures of Spock from Star Trek, and it says, the many emotions of Spock, or the many faces of Spock, and it says like happy, sad, angry, in love, foolish, surprised, but it's all the same picture of him, just like, so that gave me the concept for it of, the same picture repeated over and over. Okay, we're getting there. My paint will not stay wet. Okay, so where is this drapage? Gotta. Ooh, how am I gonna do this without touching everything? And I do want to try and get this a little bit more visible first. It should come all the way up, but you can't even see it over the white, so it doesn't matter. When I put the shading and hopefully a little bit of color into the armor, it'll help make that look better. So this one goes from here to here. And these don't have to be solid white, so. Oh yeah. Like, now, I don't necessarily buy into that whole right brain, left brain thing. As far as any doctor or specialist in the field has ever told me, that, you just use your whole brain. There is no right, left side. But I understand what you're saying, and yes, it can be weird and difficult to switch from, painting silently alone by myself most of the time to talking to other people. That's definitely a strange thing to do. Where do you go? You're going right about here. Trying to paint a circle. I'm leaning a little too hard on my canvas and it's getting pushed in a bit. It looks almost right. And that's going to have some color to it too. So that's going to be, hopefully that's going to be a little bit like a leather look. But it's kind of small, so I don't know. I don't know how leathery it'll be. And we clean a little bit of this white out of this brush. And let me grab some of that gray. I'm not going to make my own gray this time. I'm going to use a nice solid gray. Okay. I have to do something about the heat. It's getting too hot in here too fast. So give me a second. Hopefully the fan won't be loud enough for you guys to hear. But it wasn't on when I started, so who knows. Oh, no. I definitely missed one. Humpbacks. Where did I miss humpbacks? Oh, you know, if the humpbacks would have ever made it out in space, it would have saved Kirk and the Enterprise. Ah, yes. Okay. Yes, I did miss that. This chat can move, man. Okay, so I believe I wanted the gray. Oh, that's going to be... It's a little too thick. Let's water that down a bit. Got to be able to get a point on it. Gray is going to come through here. And that's too thin because I can barely see it. And the way I'm always resting my hand on my canvas, I really should consider looking into switching to boards, like ampersand boards or something. That might help. And I hear they're beautiful surfaces to work on. Ultra smooth, pre-primed with enough gesso. So I may have to look into them someday. But I still have a couple Fredrix canvases left, so might as well use them first. And this may be too neutral of a color for what I'm going for. So I may end up tinting it a little bit with some Mars black. You win. You win, Clark. Or did you cheat? Did you already see it? Because I don't know how I'm holding it. And I don't know, I never know which brush is in my hand either. I just grab what looks like it'll do what I want it to do. It's a good suggestion. Never been able to do it. I can't paint a straight line when my hand is on the stick. So, like, to save my life, I can't paint a straight line. So, but it is a good suggestion, Michael. Thank you. And thank you for joining me. I know you sometimes lurk out there, so. I apparently have a few friends of mine who are also lurkers and never say anything, no matter how many times I try and convince them that they should. Trying to get this coverage more even and smoother, because reflections in armor are smooth, very sharp, crisp lines, not soft lines. Let's see if I can get a little bit of color in here. A bit of this gray there. Here. and see if I can. Trying to add just a tiny bit of definition to those line, those reflected shadowy areas. I don't even know what to call them. Which pattern? Do you mean like its patterns or like the armor pattern? I'm not sure which pattern you're talking about, Michael. If you're talking about just like the Orca's its spots are, then that is, without a doubt, that is just looking up pictures of Orca, and yes, they are different. That's why if you can't really tell on this one anymore, but this one has like a rounded front, like this one does, sort of rounded point, and then this one points a little bit down, and that's because this is a different type of whale than these, and so they do have distinctive markings depending on where in the world they are found, apparently. So I figure these ones are related, so they'll have the same pattern, and then this guy, maybe he's someone else. Okay, where am I going here? Okay. When I go to paint something, I do my research. But I didn't actually pay attention to where the specific pattern I was looking at came from. So the one I was working on right now, yeah. It could be. It could be. What did you say? Northwest. Is that what you said? I'll find it. Don't you worry. Yeah, Pacific Northwest Indigenous Tribes. It could be. They're definitely out there. I missed that one. So, yeah, I could see it being on a totem. Or at least before I started putting armor on it. A bird? I don't see the bird. Not Pacific Northwest, but there is a little bit in me from my bio dad's original family, whatever. Um, more, I believe that's more the like North Midwest kind of area, and they had totems too. So not the same kind, and not the same style, but I've always kind of liked tribal designs myself. There's definitely something about I don't know, the simplicity of the designs, even though they're not always that simple. Clean this brush out a bit. And then we're going to get a little dangerous because I don't know if this is going to work at all. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a glaze kind of thing here. Ooh, that ain't going to work. Too thick. See if we can thin that down even more. just want a hint of color. If I can keep it that thin and do maybe 2 coats on it, that might work. And yes, I realized there was no blue in the rest of the painting. But I think it will help sell the armor a little bit. We'll see. Now I need a bit of my purple. Tiny little bit of the purple. Okay. That was a giant glob of purple I didn't need. What a waste, what a waste. This is a little bit of gray that I've already used with a little bit of the purple in it. Trying to give it just a little bit of a gradient, sort of. Now, let's see what we can do here. I'm basically trying to wash in just a little bit. Oh, I can see that. I can see that. I can. Now I get it. This is what we're always do. This is what we're always doing to Lisa. Telling Lisa, you know, oh yeah, there's another picture in your picture. That's gonna need a little work. Trying to get a little bit of the look of a drop shadow. In some spots. Not all the spots. Okay, now we're gonna go back into some straight black. And, I'm gonna switch brush too. Because I want a super crisp fine line for this. If at all possible. See if we can go a little zoomier. That's going to need a little fixing. Wow. You guys can't see that blue at all because I've got the blue turned all the way down so the purple showed. Uh, darken up hopefully these lower areas. Get out of there. Oh my goodness. way too thin. I need a little bit more paint on here. An eagle? Is it supposed to be an eagle? I'm unsure, but could it be a puffin or a penguin? It does kind of have the look of a penguin. I'm not happy with the purple on the top, so I'm going to start back here and see if this gives it a little bit more definition. A little bit, but not a lot. I may. I don't know if every one of them will be in a live stream, but I may. Clark Fine Art. It really depends on how well this one does. Okay, now, see if we can give it just a few little highlights in some places. Not thick enough. Oh. I knew that big glob of purple was going to be trouble. far with that. See if I can a little bit more of that gray color, a little bit lighter. No, definitely needs to be darker than that. Let's see if I can do this. I'm using the back of the brush to try and get more of a perfect little dot. And it's kind of working. These are like the kind of the little bolts that hold everything together. Wipe that off before I forget. Oh, referring to Star Trek. Yes, not quite a bird trap. And I need really had this brush loaded up good. Gotta get some of that gray out of there. Trying to mix up a very dark brown at the moment. and have it thin enough to be spreadable, because it's... I think it was just my set, but the browns in my Liquitex paints are very chunky. They weren't smooth and creamy the way you expect them to be. So I always have to add a little bit of water to them and get them a little bit more fluid before I can use them. But just the browns. I don't know why. And yes, I probably could have called them and been like, hey, send me some new browns. And they might have done it, but who knows? Because I didn't do it. I also didn't try to use the browns until quite some time after I got them. Think your cloak is engaged? And don't get me started on cloaking. Why does the Federation just choose not to use? I mean, the Defiant, yes, but why does the Federation just choose, like, yeah, let's just get rid of the greatest tactical thing any species has ever created? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, they're scientists and they're explorers and blah, blah, blah. No. Use the cloak. Dang it. And I've only seen season 1 of Discovery, so I don't know if I consider that Star Trek. Because it's like they tried to reboot and redo it, and I'm not always a big fan of that. Okay. Tail forward, going. Kinda does. I'll give you that. Is this going to be scruffy enough? I don't know. Mm. I'm trying to give it a little bit of texture so it looks a little bit more like leather. Michael Perry. Close. It's raw and burnt, but it's sienna. That was no good at all. That was not a fine line at all. It's always the super fine details that get me. Now, lighten that up a bit for some highlights. See if we can go even finer. One of the real problems with this is that there's no definitive light source, so I'm kind of trying to make it up on the fly. That was one thing I definitely did wrong, not putting in a very specific light source. But it's not terrible. Definitely seems like it's missing something, like something in the contrast is off. Yes, Sheila Hubbard. You have not been paying attention. No, you have not. There's actually that, and there's Picard. But have you seen Picard? And then there's, what is it? Strange New Worlds and Prodigy, which is the cartoon. But yet, the best Star Trek on TV is still The Orville, and I will stand by that 100%. We're not that kind of channel, misspelled Jared. That's your guys' running joke, right? Not that kind of channel. Unless I'm totally misreading that, which is possible. Don't mind if I do. And thank you both for joining me, in case I didn't say it, because I don't think I did. I know you guys can probably barely see that, but see what I can do to make this more visible for you. Since we're getting close to the end. Yeah, it still needs some work. You can't tell, can... Oh. Nope. That camera's too far away. This one's too out of focus color. Can't tell that's brown at all. But it does sort of look like it's wearing armor. I mean, it needs a few little things, like a little bit more work on the little, like, connecting rivets. I guess that's what they are, rivets. Around here, around the eye, and around the fin, there are supposed to be more little, like, rivet spots, and on the front of the fin and the side of the fin, or the top of the fin, front leading edge of the fin is also supposed to be a strip. Linguistics be difficult. But that's where I'm going to leave it for now. If I continue on and finish this in my free time before starting something new, would you guys like me to try the whole Premiere thing again? And let you guys see that? That I'm umming a lot. That is one of the things I want to know. Do you guys think that would work? Are you interested in seeing the stuff I don't do on screen, on the live streams? Because that is something I am thinking about doing, as well as adding more edited video on demand content, because that is something I think I need to do for my channel. So I am working on other stuff. I have one video in the bag from one project and one near complete for the second project. 2 projects going on at the same time behind the scenes. So the premiere was great. Okay. No, I do not, Gypsy. I wish I did. I wish I had any clue what happened. It was like, I don't know if I need to tell YouTube something that I didn't, because what I did is just before the premiere ended, I hit my button to start streaming to YouTube, and YouTube never got that signal for some reason, and I don't know why. Until I refreshed the page. So that's something I'm going to have to look into and try and figure out why that happened. And if not, I'll put the video up the day before instead of doing it as a premiere, because if their things don't work, then, you know, why try and use them? But that's YouTube, always making mistakes. Every time they introduce something, they break something. And what was it? Oh, I was watching... Yeah, I randomly clicked on one of Tim Schmoyer's videos. And he had a guy on, and that guy used to work at YouTube, so he knows what he's talking about. And what he was talking about is how YouTube is pushing shorts, and you should try and do a whole bunch of like 10 to 15 shorts to try and reinvigorate your channel and its normal, you know, long form content, which YouTube like 3 weeks ago said will absolutely not work. If you do shorts and people like those shorts and subscribe to your channel because they watched a short, well, YouTube's only going to show them shorts. It's not going to show them your long form content, even if they're subscribed to you, because the algorithm didn't know what to do. So they completely disconnected it, and now shorts cannot affect long term, and long term cannot affect shorts, and they're breaking things, as always. But who knows? I wasn't doing shorts, so I don't watch shorts. They drive me crazy. I have an attention span. I can watch something that's more than 30 seconds long. But, okay, so, yeah. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to my patrons and my newest patron, who is here in the chat, Clark. Thank you very much. If you're not a member of, or if you're not subscribed to my Patreon, you can do that. Links are in the description and probably all throughout the live chat. I do offer the postcard now, and I moved it to the 2 main tiers. So the rose, the paint splattered rose postcard should be being mailed soon. I'm actually waiting for them to come. They may have come today. I don't know. We'll find out after this is over. And then, wow, I can't stop saying today. I watched a video earlier where someone was like, saying is my problem. And now I can't stop saying Yes. Bye, Michael. Thank you for joining me. Bye, Teresa. Yes, Teresa. I hate the shorts too. I hate the shorts. And I hate TikTok. I can't do it. It drives me crazy. It doesn't matter if you can make a 10-second video that has beginning, middle, end, closure. I'm still going to be going, well, where's the rest? That's how my brain works. But YouTube wants to be TikTok for some reason, and we're never going to get away from it. So, yes. I will work on this. I will figure out what's wrong with this top edge. It needs some kind of definition that I'm not getting. I still have to add its little spikes, because it's supposed to have spikes on the armor. Thank you, Cat's Art Pics, for saying the painting looks great. I appreciate it. If you weren't here at the beginning and you missed, or in the middle and you missed it, the t-shirt thing, I do have a new t-shirt design, so now that makes, well, it's 1, 2, but technically 3, with a sweatshirt thrown in there for good measure. I will be working on new stuff, so that may be out someday soon. Thank you all for being here. Again, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.